medicine for a growing marriage. I mean, the title spells it out. Okay, would you read Otito's part and then Otito will read your part?
Okay, and I'm reading Oti's part. We're reading from
section 2 of the book where we're talking about the immigration middle.
Exactly.
So chapter 4 is talking about the 4-year separation when
I had to travel. So Oke's travel plans had been sealed with a visa and he was going off. Before he left, I managed to get all our friends together for his quarter-century birthday bash. A true going-away party. There must have been at least 10 to 20 of us, males and females, in that house that night. Even with the apprehension coursing through my veins about when and if I would see him again, I spent the time with the others, eating, drinking, and just making merry. That night was a contingent mix of joy and sadness, but the sadness was made bearable by all the friends that surrounded our table. We promised each other that we would keep in touch somehow, and I have to give it to Oke. He kept in touch. He did.
Okay, now I'm going to read Oke's part. December 2002, I had lost hope, a dark place to be in. All my best laid plans were coming to naught. This was the next year after the 9/11 attacks, and it seemed like America locked down all the routes for immigrants. Not that I blame her. Try as I may, I couldn't see a viable path to come back to Nigeria and fulfill my promise to Oti. I was ashamed and despondent. I certainly didn't believe that once I got to America, all would fall in place. I knew I would have to work hard for my dreams, but meeting disappointment after disappointment exhausted my reserves of optimism. I started to doubt I had made the right decision to come to America. I wasn't strong enough or wise enough to believe God could still work a miracle. In my stupidity, yes, I can say that now looking back, but in my defense, it didn't seem that way at the time. I thought I would do the noble thing and release this beautiful, intelligent girl from her pledge to me.
All right, both of them just read from their book, A Little Medicine for a Growing Marriage. First, let me pick on you, Oti. That point where you were talking about Oke's travel, what was going through your mind?
I mean, it's kind of a memoir, so you're looking back now, but it was a question of not knowing, right? So, he had gotten a visa to come to America, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to join it because I didn't have a visa. Like, I feel like if it was something where you could say, you know, tomorrow I'll come, but there was no way. My coming to America would have been dependent on my getting a visa from the US Embassy. So it was really like a gamble, I would say, right, in that sense. So that's kind of what it was. Like, you're like, I don't know if this relationship is going to survive the test of time, but I'm not now going to break up because of that. I think that was the idea at the time.
So I mean, both of you just left it. Let's see what's going to happen. You left it at that.
I left it at that, but I can tell you, people kept saying, why don't you get, engaged? Why don't you do a traditional wedding? I'm like, So I guess that tells you the kind of person I am. I'm like, I don't do things like that. Like, I cannot be waiting for some, diaspora relationship that I don't know where it's going to go, So let me be sure of what the next steps are before I get him to put a ring on it or anything like that.
So I guess that lets you know why she picked her Bob Marley song, No Woman, No Cry. I would have gone with Waiting in Vain, but hey, let's...
We'll probably do that. No. Okay, what was going through your mind? I mean, 2002, and then you got a visa, and here you are, you already are in a relationship with Oti, and then suddenly the visa comes. What was going through your mind?
That's when I was like, 1 in a million, as in I considered it luck. Well, I shouldn't say luck, that God had ordained things and that, okay, this was the beginning of just success after success after success. I mean, we're just out of college, and so, the world is your stage. Nobody ever tells you that there are disappointments around the corner or hurdles to cross, but your whole mind is that out of everybody that you keep on telling no, you've got it, so you are good, your case will be different. I guess that's the mindset that I had as an, and I'll pave the way, and then it will all be happy. And I mean, my nature, I'm typically optimistic. I'll always see the glass as half full as opposed to half empty, you know. And so it didn't even occur to me that, you know, there will be such insurmountable obstacles at the time. So going, I was like, okay, babe, just hold on, or wait for me. Don't marry anybody else. So I'm going and I'm coming back.
Okay, let me pick on both of you again. Let's step back a bit. Let me start with you, Tito. Can you rehash what happened at the library? And what led to that? And then you had to wave to this guy, and the guy said, "No, even see which kind of guy this one." And this expensive wave, and you didn't see. Hello, I don't get.
I know. Hello, I don't get. So, yeah, I guess when I was in school, people could call me an efiko, right? In that sense. So always library. So that day I was heading to Kennedy DK for people who went to UI. And I'm climbing up the stairs. So it's like 4 stories. And then I saw him coming down, and I waved to him because I had recognized him from a previous, you know, visit, from previous hanging out with other friends. And he didn't see me, like you said. And I continued my way because I was like, okay, I mean, I guess he didn't see me. I didn't make too much out of it. Only for me to see somebody coming back, like jumping 2 steps to come and say, sorry, I didn't acknowledge your wave. And I said, it's okay, you know, but he kept apologizing. So again, I guess that's kind of the person that he is, because some other person would have continued, like, the girl has gone, I've gone, like, let me continue my way. So that was interesting in that sense. And I always keep thinking till tomorrow, like, what if he didn't come back, right? Maybe we would have been friends, because we all later went to a pharmacy building together. But at that time, no one knew, right, if that we're going to meet in pharmacy, because in the first year of UI was touch and go. You didn't know if you would continue with your chosen course, because everybody did sciences together in the first year. True. So,
Now, let me quickly get to
in my defense.
Wait, now cool down, okay. Wait till the Russian.
My defense.
Are you a Russian? Cool down now. Now, okay, you come back to your line of thought, but I'm just wondering. I mean, Nigeria we haven't done so very well in the 100-meter sprint. If they had asked you to come run for Nigeria, I'm sure you would have refused. And yet, immediately you realize that somebody waved at you. You ran more than 100 meters. Tell us about that.
You know, she had made an impression, you know, we went to go and do visiting. I mean, those of us that went to we did visiting hours. So she was one of the chicks that went to go and visit with committee of friends.
Okay.
So when it struck that, this is the person, I had to go back. Now, we had exam, was it chemistry exam? There was an exam that we had, you know, and I hadn't been studying. So my leaving that library was like, this exam, I don't know, it's God that's going to help me. So all communication, waving, I wasn't even thinking about all that. But by the time I reached there, and something at the back, I said, wait, this is that person that you guys were gisting with now. Go down for this exam. Let's go back and do the right thing and show. And I ran back. I ran back. Yes, that was my mindset. That no, at least let me not lose 2 ways. Even if I fail the exam, at least I can catch the chick.
And catch you did. All right. Can you both give us an idea what this book is about?
Ladies first.
Okay. So the book was about this concept of perennial conflict, right? And perennial conflict is just something that keeps coming up, you know, because you get married and you think everything is going to be rosy, everything is going to be fine, but you find yourself really arguing about, I would say, the same thing over and over. Not the same things, but there's always something that keeps coming up, right? In that sense. And so for us, it was like, this thing is going to make or break someone if you don't, like, you know, settle down and handle some of these issues. So it was really about looking back and then forward to say, how do we deal with conflict? Because the term is perennial, we know it's not going to necessarily go away. It will just show up in different forms, because they typically say that even if your quarrel is about money, it's not about the money. It's more about control. It's more about, you know, somebody telling you what to do. It's more about power. It's more about influence. And so for us, it was getting to the bottom of that so that you don't keep having the same kind of disagreements over and over again, because at some point it's like, what is this, you know?
So I'll just add to that by saying that I guess when we got to the age our parents were, when they were having issues, we realized that this thing is more common than not, but nobody ever told you about it going in. And so the tendency was to think that you are the only one that's having the problem.
True.
But as we spoke with our close friends, close circles, those that were brave enough to open up, we found that there are similar, episodes. It doesn't matter whether you are Christian, not Christian, born again. Those 4 areas just kept on coming up: communication, coins, money, sex, children. Those 4 pillars, just revolving around those areas. We're like, okay, this has to be a common denominator among us, and like, let's share our stories out there. Let's be brave enough to just bear all and share our stories and say
resources that helped us, right? It's not just sharing the story, because if you're sharing the story, I normally say it's like, you're not trying to be voyeuristic. You're like, this is what helped me through this, right? So if somebody else is walking through that, maybe they could pick up the same resources and they could walk through it themselves, right? In that sense. So